Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of 60 Formula. Today we are going to be talking about how to get your dog or your husky to love or be comfortable in their crate. By the way, I want to thank all the new subscribers. We've got so many coming in. I really appreciate you. I'm humbled. Honestly, I'm humbled by everyone that's coming in and hanging out. If you are a part of the Husky community, if you have some Huskies at home, maybe you just love Siberian Huskies, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and become part of the Husky community. A lot of you are new subscribers, and if you didn't know, I'm going to introduce you to the pups. This right here is Gila. She's the lady of the house, looking fly as always. Look how pretty she is. She's also the smart aleck of the two. And right here we got Britney Spears, and he's the man of the house, or the pop diva of the house, might I say. Both of them are tired. They both just play with each other. What's up, boy? What you doing? Leave Britney alone! That's what they always say. If you guys are wondering why I call him Britney Spears, I will answer that question in an episode coming up, but I've already covered it, so if you watch some past episodes, click over that way or click over that way, you might find out exactly why I call him that. Look at his nose. Look at his nose. He's a big old husky nose. Let's close up. You're a cutie pie. You're a cutie pie. Let's go! Now look at Britney Spears right here. He is completely content, just sleeping in his crate. He's just hanging out. I didn't even put him in there, actually. He just went, you know what? I love this thing so much. I want to sleep in it, daddy-o. Look at Gila. She's like, don't think I'm gonna go in there so easy. And that's exactly what we're gonna be talking about today. I know I've taught you guys how to crate train your husky, but that's completely different from making their crate their safe space. So today we are going to teach you how to do that. How does your dog get comfortable? How do they get familiar with their crate? You look like you're sleepy. We're doing a YouTube video. You gotta wake up. Look at that face. It doesn't matter what kind of doggo you have. You can make sure that they are comfortable and happy in their little crate home. Everyone's always telling me, and I hear this a lot, especially from people who love animals, and trust me, I am an animal lover. They always say crates are terrible for your dogs. Crates are horrible. Don't ever have a crate introduced into your home because it's just a little jail. That's not accurate at all. I'm sorry. I have to argue with those people because my dogs end up loving their crates. They become safe spaces, and I know this because when my dogs go ahead and they fight each other, like when they're playing and they're play fighting, one of the Huskies, if they get tired or if they're like, I'm losing this battle, they'll run to their cage and be like, I'm safe. The other Husky won't chase the other Husky into that cage. They know, they're like, that's that dog's crate. I'm not going in there. That's their safe space. They're trying to get out of the way for a minute. And that's what tells me, hey, these dogs are starting to use these crates as like a home base. They're like, hey, this is where I like to be. Especially when they just nap in it, just like this, like when we're just hanging out. Dogs are all different. All shapes and sizes, all colors and creeds, all sorts of different junks. So it's always gonna be different on how your dog acclimates to a crate. Some dogs are gonna love the crate initially. Some dogs are gonna hate it and they're never gonna wanna be in it. But there are secrets and tips that you can follow that you can get your dog acclimated to your crate a little bit faster, maybe a little bit easier, maybe a little bit more stress-free. Now, one of the first things you're gonna wanna do when you're training your dog to love their crate is you're going to want to give them plenty of treats and a lot of practice. And if I have not stressed this enough on this channel, I'm going to stress it more. You need to be patient, and practice makes perfect. This kind of thing takes passion, guys. You guys have to be really passionate about your animals. You have to give them time. They're not monkeys. They're doggos. They don't have a brain that's even nearly the size of yours, and it's amazing that they can even learn what they learn. Give them a second. They're gonna get it. They're going to understand. It just takes a little bit of patience and a little bit of love. So step number one, the first step you need to do in taking to get your dogs acclimated to their cages is keep them around the house. Now, I keep mine in my kitchen. Obviously, we're in my kitchen right now. Don't look at the mess or anything. I have 2 in here. If you keep your cages out and about and you keep them in the open, your dogs are more likely to just go and step inside them on their own. When they do this, you want to highly reward them. Give them turkey, give them treats. Say, good job, good boy, good girl. That is mega important. You want them to know that being in that cage is a dope job on their behalf. So go ahead, pat their head, tell them that they're good, and give them some treats if they went ahead and sat in the cage. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, yo, 60, that's obvious. I already do that kind of stuff. Let me tell you a few other tips that you need to know. Listen, don't put a lot of junk in the crate. I know a lot of people are like, put toys in there to make them feel comfortable. Put blankets in there so they can fall asleep at night. Maybe throw a bed in there so that they can get some extra good sleep. Honestly, don't put anything in this crate. Don't do it. You're going to do yourself the craziest disservice if you put something in that crate, because more times than not, they will either A, tear it up, they will B, take a poop and destroy the blanket or the bed, or C, all of the above. I mean, there's a million ways that these dogs could even hurt themselves. So just don't put anything in the crate when you are trying to get them acclimated. Step number 2 is going to be just a lot of practice of keeping them in their cages. So as they get more acclimated to you leaving and you keeping them in their cage, they're literally going to make it their own space. As you're out and about, whoa, miss, stop doing the yoga position stuff in front of me. As you're out and about, they're gonna become more and more familiar with that cage space. So that's some really good stuff going on there. Take advantage of that. When you get home, keep the cage out, don't put it away. Keep the cage doors open and encourage your dogs to go and sleep in them as much as you can. A lot of you have spoken to me and have said, hey, you know, anytime I leave the room, my husky or my dog starts freaking out if I have the cage closed. What can I do to remedy this? Well, you're just going to have to work on that step by step. Take your dog, put him in the cage, close the door, and then leave for like 5 minutes. Come back in, open the door, give him a piece of turkey, then tell him to get back in the cage after 2 minutes, then put him back in the cage, and then go back outside, wait 10 minutes, come back in, open the cage, give him a treat, let him out, wait 2 minutes, then put him back in the cage, go outside, wait 15 minutes. You see the pattern I'm telling you here? Basically, you're gonna go outside for 5-minute intervals. You're gonna start with 5, you're gonna work up to 10, and you're gonna go up to 15, you're gonna go on to 20, yada, yada, yada. What this is gonna do is it's gonna teach them to stay in their cage for longer and longer and longer. See, each time they're gonna be like, okay, I'm waiting on him to come back, but you're gonna be pushing that length threshold that they have each time. And see, when you get to, like, let's say you're gone for an hour and they're chilling without freaking out, then you can expect them to not even make a whimper if you go out and say the garage for 10 minutes, because they'll be used to being in their cage for 10 minutes. If you have 2 dogs, and this is going to help you out a lot, because one of the dogs eventually is going to teach the other dog how to be better at crate training. When you have 2 dogs, one dog always kind of leads the other dog into helping he or she how to do things better. So what I do, and this kind of helps, is I have this crate facing this crate. And I know that's kind of arbitrary because they're clear crates, like they could see each other no matter which direction they were facing, but I want them to be looking at each other. That's important. It gives them more confidence. They both know that they're both with each other. You know, they have a space and the other person has a space. And I'm going to show you something right now, how smart dogs can be when it comes to crate training. Here are my keys. I'm going to pick them up. Cage. Cage.
good dogs. Those are good doggies.
Now, I know some of you are saying, hey, dude, I don't have the space in my house to have these two giant cages. I kind of have to keep them in a separate room. Tip number 3 is going to be keeping the cages in a location that is public to you. If you're the alpha dog over your dogs, and you should be, you should absolutely keep the crates in a common room. You don't have to keep them in your living room. I have these in my kitchen and they're completely separate from my living room. They can't see into the living room from the kitchen, but dogs do not like being in rooms that are completely separate from the room that you are in. Now, I tried doing that kind of crate training with Gila when she was a little puppy, and it just honestly didn't work out too well. She would scream for hours on end, and I felt really bad. She was not into it, and so what I did to kind of fix that situation is I brought the crate out into the living room, and that way she was able to become acclimated to the crate with me there by her side. It wasn't so hard for her, and it made things a lot easier. So I kind of discourage you from keeping the crate in another room. That's kind of a no-no in my opinion. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. And last but not least, step number 4 is basically keeping up with everything. You have to keep up with the rules. If you go anywhere, you gotta keep your dogs in their cages. If you do something that, you know, you're gonna leave your dogs for a long amount of time, you have to put them in your cages. If you deviate at all from your schedule, these dogs, especially Huskies, they will not learn. They're like children. If you give them the opportunity to break the rules, or you tell them, hey, you know, you don't have to go in your cage tonight, they will take advantage of it. I mean, look at those eyes right there. That's mischief. That's misbehavior. So you really just have to be diligent with what you do. That is my tip, my last tip for you guys. Always stick with it. Don't give up. Because honestly, if you do, these dogs will walk all over you, yeah. So anyways, guys, I really want to thank you for tuning in and watching a really awesome and fun video with the pups. We've been lazy today. These guys were tired. It's kind of the middle of the afternoon, and it's when they start getting sleepy. So I just want to thank you guys for, you know, all the subs. It really means a lot to me. And if you guys want to help out, maybe subscribe or hit that like button, comment and interact. Everybody, you know, I like creating a community. If you guys are down with the Husky community, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time with whatever I make.
Peace!
Thank you.